feels like
being
they have
stupidly
it,
high.
though.
I get that, but you have to understand that the ICU right now
I see
in
the
most
logic
U.S.
and reasoning,
hospitals
but I'm
is
also
still
just kind of
like.
done.
Remember that the ICUs right now in most U.S. hospitals are already at high capacity. Like they
They
are already like overloaded in a lot of
We've had
cases.
places sitting empty here.
Yeah, the issue is that you take those issues that you have right now and you deregulate the public a little more, and you end up with like people dying in the streets levels of problems. And the problem with that is that where the citizenry may feel like they have low confidence in government institutions to protect and serve them, so to speak, in times that are just by a default that might be a thing where people's confidence in governance is low. If the government doesn't do their job and actually deregulates, they're going to be perceived as not doing their job even more, even though people have asked for deregulation, which is just a, this is the manager's paradox. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You're always a pariah, right? So fundamentally, that position is a thankless job, and frankly, I would argue that in the U.S. the current regulations are, like,
I mean,
honestly,
yeah, we're not
like,
Australia or anything.
it was more like you guys should have done this shit years, like,
No, you're
yeah,
not
a year
Australia
ago.
because
Frankly, like, if you guys did this earlier, you wouldn't have
At the
this
start,
problem.
it wouldn't have been such a problem. Yeah, I know.
so you're not Australia because you lot actually have the right to self-defense.
Yeah, the Australians have to use, like, what, their wildlife.
Pretty good.
The Australians lost
though.
a war against their wildlife, so
Yeah, until they implemented a bounty system, and then
they still lost the emu war.
Yeah. Well, they're still also not winning the one against the
Okay.
rabbits, so.
That was cool.
They clearly
Turns
just
out
need
that-
to import some Americans.
Well, lagomorphs are
More
just kind of.
Americans.
If you ever wondered why marsupials are so rare as a sort of, I believe it's a family,
As of whatever the hell they are, it's because they're very awkward.
inefficient. Placentas are overpowered, basically. Placentas are very overpowered. Turns out that not having to carry your young for like several months while they're growing in your womb is,
Excuse me, I'm getting killed by a Phrygia.
oh, that's worrying. And
Phrygia.
At
My
Phrygia.
shells went a mile high.
I was too busy
The-
focusing on an SGB.
Those shells went low. God, I hate this.
you see the green indicator? That's actually a very good indicator of where the shells are going to land.
Yeah, but you have like no depth perception with that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, you have to really eyeball it, so to speak. And it really,
And I knew
unfortunately,
what range adjustments meant in yards. I have no idea what they mean in miles.
Well, that's why I have my thing in yards.
I don't want to change my distance back to kilometers. Okay, there.
Well,
it's
I just
done,
have my
gone.
distance in yards.
But I don't want that
because-
for any other mode.
Well, I only play naval, so it's irrelevant.
It's like having to deal with knots for tanks already. Another PT boat, really?
oh, I am burning.
The only issue I've encountered with having knots is that I'm having to relearn what all the drop speeds are for torpedoes, but then torpedoes are pointless, so...
Yeah, I just realized that we're in a 5-7 match.
Oh, is
This
that
is a
why I'm on
5-7
fire?
match, and everything I've seen has been PT boats?
But you're
Because
also in
somebody
the
had
PT
some
boat
sense.
area. Yeah, and that too, but you're also in the area where PT boats like to play anyways.
I'm also in a 6-inch destroyer.
Yes, and that may sound like a good thing until you realize what you paid for getting 6 inches of firepower, so to speak, or 5.9. You get less guns and worse
I
rate of
mean,
fire.
I have 2 guns, presently.
I'm really
Right.
tired of being on fire. I hate the fire meta. It's the whole reason I quit World of Warships.
Yeah, same. I've explained it to every time we have DM feedback. I just say this is not how, like, fire meta should not be how to create a reasonable time to kill. Basically, if you're gonna
Or
make
just
time
don't
to
make
kill,
time to kill important.
well, it should be to some, like, it has to be calculated for, right? But
No, I know,
if they're gonna
but-
design around that, they should design it around ship HP, so to speak, like module capacity and integrity. Hull integrity would be a better
Making
mechanism.
the ship
frankly.
actually fall apart when you shoot it with things would be very helpful.
Yes, correct. Like, I think if they want to accelerate that process, they can do so without resorting to fire meta, ammo meta. There are, like, it's lazy, you know?
It's incredibly
Everything is
lazy.
broken.
And it makes no sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's fun. I don't think it's very well designed. I don't think it's very creative. I don't think it's very balanced. So, like, I can't really agree with the fire meta. I mean, I'm preaching to the choir here, I guess, but you know,
no
like,
way, and then it makes sense. It doesn't make
Yeah,
sense in
every-
realism, and it doesn't make sense in fun. So what's the point?
they just want to appeal to the arcade kiddies, basically, who
And
try
they refuse to make any difference for arcade to realistic. And it's
Yeah, I
like,
want to play Call of Duty on the water.
you
Yes,
have
exactly.
this thing called arcade mode.
They should. I genuinely quarantined it out somehow. I don't know how, but easier to just give them an HP pool and just
I am
call it a
very,
day.
I'm very concerned. There's two big, massive cruisers staring at me. Oh, and the
And at that
British
point,
one.
it's just World of Warships with extra steps.
Yes, that's literally what arcade is going to be, and I don't mind if that's what it is because they can. have
Because
their
it's
little-
arcade.
Yeah,
It
'cause you
should
can
be
get all the people that
arcade.
want that to go away.
Yes. Well, the thing is, Gaijin wants them because they're customers. So we
Yes.
have to appeal. Like, we have to basically explain to Gaijin a way that they can satisfy that, while
It's called.
also
You
having.
have an arcade mode.
Yes.
It's like
Use
people
the
want War
arcade
Thunder
mode.
Naval because they don't want to play World of Warships, and then they're just trying to turn it into World of Warships.
Yeah.
Oh, a big chunk of the World of Warships Exodus came to War Thunder Naval, and unfortunately that means a lot of shitters. Like, all the worst aspects of World of Warships player base are now here as well. So enjoy that. If you've had any experience with the World of Warships player base, you'll have an idea of what exactly I'm talking about. And I'm pretty sure that Shadow,
Sorry.
you're familiar enough with that.
I don't even. It's not even the player base that pissed me off. It's the damage mechanics. HE spam was
Yes.
ridiculously overpowered and incredibly annoying and not fun.
But honestly, the player base was also not great. If I'm to be entirely honest, I didn't really appreciate them.
I missed those, didn't I? No, I didn't.
Yeah, that looked like a pretty heavy miss there. He just also coincidentally exploded and got down to 30% crew.
So I just scroll down Facebook and see a post that says
Fighters
20
don't do a bomber's job, my ass.
I mean, honestly, yeah, you don't kill battleships that way. You don't actually get into. You don't run through the AA gauntlet, right? Like, don't tell me that a fighter. Yeah, I mean that's not even a fighter, but
Tell me that
even
a
then,
fighter what?
don't tell me a fighter can do a bomber's job. It can't. It really can't. In fact, even in this regard, you only have what 2 times 500 kilogram bombs.
Well, considering that
Yeah.
the other idiotic
Yeah.
thing is that level bombing is the way to go is incredibly unhistorical.
It's historical in some contexts, but not in the way that we use it, right? Like,
It's
there
historical in
definitely
the
were level
context
bombing.
of Billy Mitchell's, here's a battleship that's sitting perfectly dead still with nobody on it.
Well, it's more like we had instances in World War II where level bombers did low altitude attack runs against ships.
Yeah, but that's
shipping-
not level bombing,
Typically
that's
not.
tactic. Yeah,
Yep.
that's
Active
It's not like you go to whatever your maximum altitude possibly can be, dodge an entire fleet formation of AA, and yeah, you don't do that, right?
no, because like B-17s tried doing that to the Japanese at Midway, and all it caused was the Japanese to sort of giggle at them.
Yeah, and generally speaking, level bombing attacks were done against cargo because they didn't shoot
Or-
back as much.
Actually,
Don't shoot back,
Uh,
and they also tend to be kind of stupid.
Well, they
Battle of
shoot
the
back.
Coral
They just
Sea.
don't shoot back much
Not
because
effectively.
25s and maybe a high angle gun, maybe.
and cargo ships also don't move very quickly.
And the
That's
destroyers they
kind
shot
of
at
where we're
were
getting
also
at.
just ones
They
with
kinda
shitty
just sit
AA
there and
anyways.
die.
Oh,
So-
actually, no. When they did do these attacks on destroyers, like Amatsukaze shot down 3 B-25s when they tried to do an attack run on her. So
Coral
that's
Sea.
about the success of that.
The Americans sent off a detachment of cruisers and a couple of destroyers to head off the possible Japanese invasion fleet to the east, or to the west side.
Yeah.
They came under attack, or they were spotted, and 2 waves of Japanese bombers went after them. All the
Which
torpedoes and
times?
bombs missed. And then
Was it-
after the Japanese got done,
Mhm.
a squadron of American B-26s showed up, or A-26s, and they bombed them. And they all
Bombed
missed.
their friendly.
Um,
Sorry, they bombed their friendlies?
yes,
But why?
because they misidentified them as the Japanese invasion force.
Oh no.
They missed, though.
Yeah. Luckily they did.
Like, the admiral in command of the group was like, well, thankfully their aim is as bad as the as the enemies, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
That's lucky in that case. You know, thank fuck we didn't have an American Vikinger. I mean,
Because
that
we're
did
talking
happen. That was
like
just with infantry rather than with
3
ships.
cruisers and 4 destroyers or something like that.
That's actually that would have been comparable to Vikinger.
That would have also been a substantial loss for the U.S. in the Pacific in, you know, May 42.
A time when they probably needed those ships more than ever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it defaulting me to cockpit view?
Oh, that bug again.
Something
yeah.
buggered with your settings, maybe?
No, that's a bug.
Okay.
Oh, is it affecting everyone right now?
It sort of occasionally affects some people at random intervals. I have not
Oh,
been
for
able
me
to
it's
determine.
consistent.
Oh yeah, no, like it's not going to be every time, right?
It's every
But
time for me.
In your current login, yes.
It's been done this for a couple times now.
Yes, but it's not every single time you log in. You have this for the entire session for every. It's just occasional sessions. You'll have
It's
this
been
issue.
since the update.
Every single login.
I think so.
Then that's a little more frequent than usual. That's for sure.
I would put that
Usually
under
it's just
concerning.
like the occasional. Yeah, usually it's just the occasional login and you'll experience this issue. It's not like a highly consistent thing.
Is it a
So
cruiser or a destroyer in
in A. Probably a cruiser, I think. I remember
A? I think
seeing
it might be a
cruiser.
Kona.
There's a destroyer. It's there's a destroyer and a cruiser. There's an Italian cruiser, or an Italian destroyer, and a county. Can't tell you which
That's
county.
actually sailing through the cab.
The thing that's in front of me is an Italian destroyer. The thing behind it is a county.
Oh, I realized I took torpedoes on this thing.
There's actually a couple of things behind it.
Whoopsie daisy.
I'm not going fast enough, nor am I high enough.
Well, time to drop those before they become a liability.
And somehow I'm in first place.
That's a good thing.
I mean,
Planes aren't really good for keeping first place, unless you're shooting down enemy planes.
In
I
naval,
know.
no. In ground, they are really good at that.
Yeah. They've been toned back, though.
The scaling has been toned,
Yeah.
yes, but it doesn't change the fact that you can take out a fucking F4U7 or some shit like that. And
God,
just
okay,
loiter.
yeah, if you're using the cancerous planes, it's
Yeah.
still just as effective.
When your loiter times
Oh,
are just...
oh, hello. I see the county you're talking about now. I was looking at something else. He's really hugging this mountain.
yeah. I'm hoping that if you don't manage to kill him, you squish him up enough that I can bomb him.
Can I kill this...
The enemy is controlling most of the zones.
I wonder if I can kill this Mikoma.
He's barely got any crew left, so... You wanna finish?
I'm gonna
go
die,
ahead.
but...
I don't think I'm gonna make it out of this,
Oh, he
though.
just exploded.
I'm on fire.
You got Tashkented.
Well, I kind of thought I was going to be in a place where I could turn back around and head over no ships to go back, only to go over the mountain and discover, oh, there's a ship right there.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, this is why dive bombing is a dead end.
Yes. Like, the fact that we don't get formations of dive bombers that can drop in from, as you said, 6K or something, you know.
20,000 feet plus, yeah.
It kind of dampens my enthusiasm when it comes to using anything that's not a level bomber. Even though I didn't bring a level bomber this time. My lineup for this thing is very scuffed and outdated.
Not one of my bombs seems to have actually bothered doing anything.
I like the SPD too much to give up dive bombers. Even
Too
though I
bad
don't
they
use
suck
the
in this game.
SPD.
Yeah,
I hate bomb cradles. I really hate them in this
understandable.
game.
I mean, generally speaking, I hate them. Just time delay on bombing. Why? Do you like lag when you drop your bombs?
It's effectively what it is.
That's there to make sure it clears the prop.
Yes,
Yeah, but they
I
didn't
understand
need
the
to implement
safety.
it as a feature. It didn't used to be a thing in game. They felt the need to make it a thing.
Well, now there's a Northampton on the A point.
Yeah, that's the thing that I saw, and I was like, I don't think that's a county, but you said it was a county. I was like, okay, I guess so.
The Northampton was what killed me. The county was what was in front of me.
Oh boy, there's a calm here now too.
Ow.
That'll be my phone telling me I need to do my Duolingo.
Aha.
I think the best way to describe War Thunder Naval at the moment is perfunctory.
Perfunctory. You're gonna have to elaborate on that.
Perfunctory. Performed for the function of performing the function.
Ah. Yeah. I'd like to think that it's more than that, but I feel like Gaijin feels like it's like that. You know what I mean? As in, I care for the game mode, but I don't think Gaijin is treating it like that.
At this point, I'm beginning to not care for it, but I have too much time and money sunk into this mess to
Understandable. For
not
me,
have any
I
interest
like
in it.
War Thunder Naval as a principle more than I like Ground Forces.
Yeah, it's
Um,
just, it would be nice if, you know, because Ground Forces is kind of what it's going to be, you know.
Yes, it's got its identity, that's for sure. Even though it needs a bit of a refresher, especially in regards to top tier. Like, it is a
I
fucking
didn't even
mess
get
up
an
there.
assist on that.
I didn't get a reward for that hit indicator. I didn't get SL or RP for that. What? It's
How is
just
the
telling-
Firefly still in the air?
Hmm.
Oh. Hello, Akizuki.
Launching an attack!
I probably should have paid attention to you before you got several
Oh,
salvos
that
into my-
ducky killed me earlier.
Ow.
I don't know. I just died and it said, killed by Ajax Akatsuki.
This is where I slowly die because not enough crew members to repair. I'm also pretty sure that Northampton's gotten so beat up that he's going too slow to hit my torpedoes.
Oh, he knocked out my front guns.
Ah,
Cool.
that's why I started melting. Freshia showed up.
Oh, good.
Well, I've degunned him, so that's something.
Destroy the target.
I don't really want to play the K2, so I'm just gonna go commit suicide instead.
Understandable.
Okay,
Well,
so
never mind,
playing
Northampton's
Germany
dead.
is depressingly bad. Playing Britain is depressingly
If we don't
bad.
do something fast, the enemy will win.
Playing the US is depressingly bad, and
fuck was
playing
200?
Japan is just boring because Hyuga just either instantly detonates things or it instantly detonates itself.
I still haven't unlocked the HEVT for this thing.
Oh, that Akizuki is getting fucked. Let's go. Hey, almost like that thing isn't really a 4-7.
That must
But
be
it's
sticks.
Northampton. Oh, I just ate a shot from Northampton, took 0 crew damage. What? Oh, he missed. That's why. Cool.
Alright, Atlanta, kill the Freshia.
Okay, AA, if you want to actually hit that plane, that would be useful.
That as well. Oh, so this is where Regrets comes in.
I got some hits on the 200.
I've taken its flap off, apparently.
Got him. Hey! Thank you, broken 7-inch AA.
I just wanted to get the cab.
My 40 mils are now firing at his corpse. That's a little extra there, my guy.
We suffered a defeat. Head back to base.
But yeah, I mean, that's probably another example of why I don't really see the 4.7-inch or 4-inch AA being any bad, so to speak. Works just fine.
This is honestly just boring.